Hello everyone. Sire here. Thank you so much for joining me. Just to start off very quickly, this is a voiceover that was not meant to be a voiceover, so you're going to see my hands moving around explaining things, and I'm going to do my best to try to talk. But pretty much, I had purchased these new banner dies from Jaded Blossom, and I absolutely love this company. Very happy with the dies. I'm happy with the packaging. It's reusable, and even this package here, um, the package that was sent in, this beautiful blue thing. And if you look carefully, it says opening may cause uncontrollable screaming. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. And so, yes, that's the gist of the intro of this card. So I'm going to use the Halloween one in this card, this video today. And I'm just explaining that the sizes were much bigger than I had thought. And if I'd actually read the packaging before purchasing, I would have known that. But it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. And I'm very happy with all the different pieces in the Christmas and the Halloween one. So I'm just showing you the pieces that for the Halloween I've taken it all apart. You can twist them off, or you can use little pliers to cut them. And those are the banners, and then the little pieces that come with it. It's absolutely adorable. And those ghosts, that's what sold me. I love the ghosts with the little ooh faces and the stitches. Oh, look at that. So cute. You could just use those. You don't even need to create the banner. Unfortunately, these are both sold out on the shop now. I just checked, and so you won't be able to purchase them unless they restock them. So here is the skull one. I used some antique linen distressed ink to just to make them look like little aged bones. I did notice that the banner itself is a little flimsy, so adding another strip would make it a little bit more sturdy, and that's just because the layering makes it much thicker, and then all of a sudden it's kind of loose. Bones, same thing. I use the antique linen to age them. Then there's the chain, which would work perfectly for Under the Sea as well. And here's the ghosts. They're so cute, but you can see that that banner, that strip is very flimsy, so you just got to be a little careful there. And then I tried cutting the bats out in different modern Halloween colors, and that just looks just so cute, and I'm so happy with this purchase. So much so that I think this is going to be one of my new favorite shops that I'm going to constantly check out. Everything about it, very happy. And so if you don't know about Jaded Blossom, definitely check them out. Okay, so now I'm going to make a card, and I am going to use the Midnight Tales Graphic 45 cardstock, mainly because I have so much of it. I've created so many things with this package, and I have so much left over. So I decided in this card to use the ghosts and the scraps of what I have left laying around. I still have full sheets, but I want to use up the scraps, and they're just been sitting on my desk for the longest time. And I just love this paper. It's really nice. I will say though that the ghosts and this paper don't match exactly, because you're going from cutesy to more sophisticated styles, but it doesn't matter. I just love it. So that was a rectangular die that I got from Jaded Blossom. In fact, that's the reason I bought them. Went to them, sorry, was because I was looking for a matte square, and I'm explaining that right now, that this is the perfect stitched matte square that I've been searching for, and so happy with that purchase. And then of course now I'm hooked on the company, and it does feel like a small business, which I am 100% for. I love helping the small guys, and so definitely, once again, check them out if you haven't. So I have my black matte, and I have the purple, which once again I did cut out with that stitch die, and then I'm just grabbing some pieces to follow a sketch, and the sketch is called Sunday Sketches, and it's number 7. I think this is a relatively old sketch. And I don't even know if they do them anymore. The one I found is from 2016. And when I tried clicking on the link, because I was doing a Google search um, for images and I found it, it wasn't opening up anymore. The page is gone. So Google has cached it, but it doesn't look like it's there anymore. But once again, it is Sunday Sketches numbers. It's called SS007. So I've cut out a bunch of little pieces, and then I want to add some more texture or more design to this black square. The square is just too big. When you're working with pattern papers and card sketches, I just find a very large solid color is not necessarily the best because it's it catches your eye too much, and that's not what you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a piece of pattern that will match that. But first, I'm just going to trim this down to the size that I'm not measuring it. I'm just cutting it down to a size that I think would look pretty good. And what I want is to make sure I have about maybe 1/4 of an inch on the left, right, and bottom. And then I'm going to take that banner, that strip, and I'll glue that right onto the top after I cut that down. It's probably going to be 4 or 5¼ inches. Once again, this is following that sketch very closely. If you go to my website, you'll see I've posted the image of that sketch. It actually turned out really nice. So here is a piece that I'm going to be using to fill in that black. I just thought the black was just too much. However, I did cut it a little too much. I wanted it flush to that checkerboard banner, but it doesn't matter. At least it matches the mat on the outside of the card. I really like this one. I love the flowers, that purple. It ties in with that purple background in the back. And now I've introduced a new color, the green. So I've got to figure out how I can work with that, and we'll see. It might not be too bad because it's enough of it. It's not like it's just a little piece of green. Now I'm adding my next panel. That's going to be the one with the sentiment on it. And I will put the banner of ghosts around that too. In this sketch, there are 3 banners that are on the bottom. And this one actually turned pretty neat. My mind sees it a little differently. It kind of looked like little bats hanging upside down when I was done with it. But it's just the way my brain works, and if you see it, definitely let me know in the comments. I think that's hilarious if other people see it, but that's what I saw. It looked like 3 bats cuddling together, hanging upside down. But I could just be having Halloween on my mind. So I'm just trying the different banners. Like I said, I'm working with scraps here. I'm not cutting any more new paper. I don't want to. I want to use up my scraps. I find that one of the best challenges is when you're playing around and you keep all your scraps and you try to use them. And here's the trick. You try to use them without just slapping something together. That is the challenge. That is the hard part, because sure, I can just glue pattern paper to a base card or card base and slap a sentiment on it, but it may not look professional, polished, or nice, right? I don't want to just create a card or use up my scraps just to waste more paper, because the bases of my cards, I spend a little bit more on those because I want a nice sturdy, and I get it like a 120 pound. So I don't want to waste that. And so I love trying to challenge myself to creating cards using the scraps and not making something that's just to get rid of my scraps, because I'd rather just throw them in the recycling if that's the case. So this actually turned out really well. So everything you see here are scraps that were left over from the many cards that I created, the mini album that I created, and I think that's it. I'm not sure. Oh, time is just flying by so much. I'm just having a hard time keeping track. Plus, like I've said before, all my stuff is at my mom's right now, and while I'm in the midst of moving, so just running back and forth, and it's hard to keep track of everything. but I'm pretty sure I did two albums. There we go. I did 2 albums and some cards. Just had to talk to myself for a little bit. So there we go. So there's the banners. I decided to do the solid colors because I didn't want to introduce more pattern. It was just going to get lost. And I just love that. Look at it. It's like the parent and the 2 kid bats hanging upside down. It's so cute. You may have noticed that I was actually gluing that on pretty weird. Like I should have glued the back of the panel instead of gluing the banners because I had to keep wiping the glue off. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just chatting away while I was doing this. So that's why that happened. And now I want to lift this, but I don't want to lift it with foam squares because mine are a little thick. I want to just have it a little lifted. This way you can still mail it and not cause too much of bulkiness, which may increase the postage. Of course, if you're giving this to someone in person, then that doesn't matter. So I'm going to do 3 layers of cardstock, and this is all scraps. These are black 65-pound cardstock that's been used on all my cards, and all scraps. There we go. So I'm going to show you a little bit. You can see that. But anyways, it was a little bit of the height there. And I'm just going to place this right in the center, making sure that I have a nice even quarter, because I want everything kind of to be quarter, quarter, quarter. If you see that, I'm trying my best to kind of make it look like that so it's all proportionate. It's going to make it very pleasing to the eye. It's kind of going from the out in, focusing in. So you can see all the different patterns, but it's kind of flowing to the center. And balancing it, the banners in the middle kind of balances it, kind of gets your eyes to focus centered. So corners in, center, that's kind of how your eyes flow. So much so that you probably don't even notice that checkered banner until you've looked at it a second or third time. This is going to be the full A2 size, so that's 5.5 and by 4.25. Top folding. And there's my ghosts, and they're so cute. But as you can see, it's not a direct match to the style of the card stock. If I were to recommend anything, I would say use these banners on like Doodlebug or Lawn Fawn type cardstock because they're really cutesy, they're cartoony, and these ghosts would match very well. And that's what I'm explaining there. It would match much more than this more sophisticated type of paper. And when I use sophisticated, I'm just not sure what else I can say to explain the difference between cutesy and more something. Please fill in the blanks for me. The stamp set is actually a fall one from the Simon Says card kit from November 2020. I never got a chance to use it, so I pulled it out, and then since I had it beside me, I thought I would use it. And I decided not to do a Halloween sentiment, once again, because I don't have my Halloween supplies on hand. I'm going to make this into a thank you card, just because, and that's what I'm explaining here. I am leaning towards thank you just because type cards, and it's so important to me. I feel like this is very important to everyone. Not to give them or to be forced to make them, but just I feel people really need more love, more thanks, more thinking of them, because it's feeling like it's a really tough time right now. And so I'm being pulled into this. I find thank you cards are being a little bit more, I feel like making them more than like birthday cards and such. But so I'm very happy that I was able to find this stamp here. And I'm just going to glue this little ghost banner. I did cut the 2 off so that I don't waste them. And I'm just going to center that as best as I can on the top of there. And then next, to use one of these little guys, I'm just going to figure out where I want to put them. I'm not sure I switched. I'm not sure why I switched. Goes there the exact same. I bet I was chit-chatting away and my brain just dropped one and picked up another. I'm not sure what happened there. But I'm just going to glue him down in the center there, hanging over the banner. and near the sentiment. Oh my goodness, these ghosts are so cute. You could actually make table confetti with these guys. They're just absolutely cute. I think my favorite one is the one that looks like a bed sheet and it's moving to the right. I just think that's so cute. Anyways, that's my cart today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening to my rambling, and I hope that this has created some inspiration for you. And I hope that if you do have any of these Jaded Blossom banners, that you get a chance to play with them, or even if you have any Graphic 45 cardstock, that maybe this has created some inspiration for you. Definitely check out Jaded Blossom. I am 100% satisfied with their service, their products, and everything. So check them out if you haven't done so yet. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.